Hey everybody, Michael Snyder, Pacific Northwest Weather Watch. Today is September 8th, and right now we're looking at the mid-level water vapor loop. You can see our storm system out here. It's carved out this trough here that's moving across the Pacific Northwest, and this has some lightning strikes in it as we speak. This will keep us a bit cooler. It'll help suppress some of the fires across the region, and we'll take a look at what is coming here over the next couple days and the extended forecast as always as we go through the video here this morning. So let's back that up a little bit there. You can kind of see that cinnamon bun approaching the Oregon-California border here as we speak. This could be spreading some moisture up across the region here as we go through the day today. More on that here in a moment. And if anybody out there is in Tahola, north of Moclips there, and north of Ocean Shores, let me know. We'll get you a weather station out there. It would be fun to set one up out there right at the end of the highway. Always looking for weather stations right along the immediate coastline here as well. Hopefully, maybe someone in Kalilok will purchase one as well. If you want to help support the channel, click on the link down below. These weather stations are very fun. You can see them all over the place out there. They detect lightning and do a lot of other things at weather stations, so you will not regret it. So looking at lightning strikes over the last 24 hours, you can see we did have a couple of vigorous thunderstorms across some of the Oregon Cascades, East Slopes, and just off to the east of Mount Rainier, again towards where the Wildcat Fire is here. So hopefully that rainfall is helping to suppress that fire. I also have a friend out there whose house is very close to some of the flames yesterday, south of Highway 20 out there. So yeah, there's still some fire concerns ongoing here, but the general pattern is fairly progressive, and we're going to be bringing some troughs in, and we're not going to go through the extreme heat and unstable conditions that we had been dealing with previously. So if we look at that as we go through the day today, again, you can see some of these fires burning there across, just south of Lake Chelan there, eastern Washington, northeast Washington as well. But the overall trend is pretty good here because we have time on our side. We're going to be heading on in towards October pretty soon, and we've got troughs moving through the region. Now, weather outlook. This is Spokane National Weather Service. You can see we got these showers and isolated thunderstorms for the next few days. That's today, tomorrow, Wednesday, Thursday, and on in through Friday. And this is the SPC. You can kind of see the thunderstorm potential does include Western Oregon today. Would not be surprised to hear some rumbles of thunder coming up across the Willamette Valley and the Cascades today, and this is day 2. Now, taking a look at where we are now, this is at 18,000 feet, 500 millibars. There's the system we looked at here just a second ago, and that's approaching the coastline. And you can kind of see this trough that is carved out across the Pacific Northwest. This is not in any hurry to go anywhere, and it's going to set up shop right across Oregon and California there, slowly pushing off to the east, though. It stays progressive. It doesn't just totally get cut off. And then we get a little bit of a transient ridge, and then the next frontal system starts to approach as we go through the end of next week and on in through next weekend. Now, composite reflectivity over the next 60 hours, this is what the Doppler radar may look like. So as we go through the day today, you notice the showers popping off across western Oregon. Those could be producing some lightning across the Willamette Valley, and then eventually the Cascades, east of the Cascades as well. And eventually, as we go on into this afternoon and evening, we'll be pushing up across some of the Washington Cascades as we go through later tonight and into tomorrow morning. Kind of see the spin in the atmosphere here as we go on in through the day. Tuesday, again, another round of thunderstorms possible all the way from BC down the Washington Cascades and across portions of Oregon. And then you see the spin in the atmosphere as we go on in through the day. Wednesday as well, continuing to push off to the east. So yeah, as we go through the day today, wouldn't be surprised to see some lightning strikes here across maybe Eugene, Salem, Portland, and again, much better chance across the higher terrain of the Cascades. And then as we go through tonight and tomorrow morning for the Washington Cascades. And if we look at the high resolution rapid refresh, it does agree. You can see that lightning activity as we go through the early afternoon hours, better chances again across the higher terrain, Cascades, eastern Washington over the next few days as this trough continues to move through the area. Now, total precipitation in inches from last night going forward, you can kind of see this. Definitely Oregon, Western Oregon is initially favored, and then Eastern Oregon as we go through the next couple of days. But you see, there's not much coming for Washington, Seattle. I mean, it's not like we have active fires. It's not too big of a deal, and we are getting some across the Cascades. Just wish it would be a little bit more. But yeah, there it is. There's the 6-day period. Not much for Western Washington showing up there. Much better amounts across portions of Oregon. Now, looking at the extended forecast a little bit here, there is our upper level low spinning through here. It slowly trudges off to the east. Little transient ridge rolls across the region. But then we get that next frontal system as we go through next weekend. That's good because that will keep things a bit cooler than normal, probably as that's tracking across the area. And then we kind of get this next ridge setting up there. But still, this trough here will keep that from becoming, you know, a warm pattern here really across Pacific Northwest. And then this upper level low wants to just really come down and do the funky chicken across the Pacific Northwest as we go through the extended forecast. We'll continue to watch that. But the models have been showing this upper level low pretty consistently. Of course, it's just going to place differently probably in each and every model run, but we'll watch that on a daily basis. Now, 15-day precipitation anomaly, you kind of see that below normal across some of western BC, some of northwest Washington, better amounts across Oregon, eastern Washington, some of the interior British Columbia as well. But at least we do have systems that are trying to push through the area in this next 2 weeks. The European last night's run was not as good, especially for western portions, but again, pretty good signal there for a lot of Oregon. More of a mixed bag for Washington, some better signal there across the interior of British Columbia. Also, the GFS, somewhere right in between, but kind of favoring what the European was saying as well. So here we go, daily 2-meter max temperature. This is the time of year where, you know, temperatures can be pretty darn right comfortable. And you can see by the time we go towards tomorrow, I mean, look at this. We're not expecting any big heat or anything across the region. There's Wednesday, same thing, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. So yeah, these temperatures are nice, and we're not going to have the extreme dry and unstable conditions here across the area. Even though we may get some new fire starts, I don't expect any big nasty firestorms like what was going on with the Wildcat fire at times, just producing huge amounts of smoke and cumulonimbus clouds and producing its own lightning and all that nasty stuff. So hopefully that is on the wane, and it looks like it is. As you can see, these temperatures returning back more towards a seasonable norm. Now, if we look at Stevens Pass, I like to show the 46-day forecast once in a while. You can kind of see as we go on and through October, it starts to show a little bit of snowfall off through the extended. Kind of get you a little bit excited there as the seasons start to change. And there's Whistler up in British Columbia as well. This is in centimeters, but you can see as we go through, you know, the later portion of September on into October, you can get snow at the higher terrain. And there's Bumping Ridge out there near where that Wildcat fire is, and starts to show a little bit of snowfall. And that's what may eventually finally put out some of these bigger fires. Now, Seattle, Tacoma, as we go through the month of September and then through the month of October, you can clearly see the precipitation amounts start to pick up, and that's pretty typical. We start to get the mid-latitude cyclones back down into our area as we go on in through the month of October especially. And the temperature trend, you can still see we can kind of get warm at this time of year. Look at that. It starts to bump us up a little bit here, maybe towards the end of September before it gradually starts to drop down. But look at this. Even mid-October shows some mid and upper 70s showing out there. You know, you take that with a grain of salt. It's purely a fantasy forecast, but it just shows you what is possible and the overall downward trend of temperatures as we go through the month of October. 6 to 10 day, there we go, above average signal there across Pacific Northwest. We'll see how that turns out. And you've got the above average signal, but that's probably not going to be the case for the entire area as we saw. 8 to 14 days, something similar there as well. So let me know what you guys think. Should I put out a kind of a rant video about what's going on with the YouTube channel? To this day, I still cannot get in. I cannot change the picture of my account. I cannot live stream. I cannot go on and make changes. They told me to wait 7 days. I waited 7 days. Then I reset. And then they kind of reset the whole thing. So I had to wait another 7 days, waited those 7 days, tried to sign in. They said, no, you can't do that yet. It might be 14 days. So now it's been 14 days. And guess what? When I tried to sign in, could I get in? What do you think? Of course not. It's been one of the worst experiences I've ever had with customer service. If you have anything of importance on your Gmail account, I suggest you back that up elsewhere. You do not ever want to deal with these folks if it comes to this, because this has been absolutely atrocious. It's been over a month since the hack. I would have been better off just deleting the channel. I still cannot live stream. It's been over a month. They know it's me. I've sent them videos. They can see my face on thousands of videos on these channels, and they still can't let me into the account for some reason. They're just flabbergasted. And I've been locked out of the account a total of 3 times when the hack occurred, and twice when they told me to do certain steps to try to get back into the account. They're now telling me to do those steps again. Am I stupid enough to fall for a third time? I don't know, but I'm just kind of ranting here, and I don't know what else to do. Eventually I'm going to have to try at some point, but I'm trying just to sign back in with the only active session that I have on my desktop here that I can post these videos. Otherwise, if I try to clear the cache and cookies and sign out, I will have to reset the password again and do whatever waiting period again. Maybe that doesn't ever seem to work. But yeah, let me know if I should do a separate video on that and kind of break things down and share with you guys, because it's been an absolutely ridiculous experience, and I cannot state more how you should not count on Google or YouTube or for Gmail for any kind of your email purposes. So anyway, let me know what you guys think. Should I do a full video and go step by step and share the emails and the email chain that's now 80 emails back and forth between Google and YouTube or whatnot? Otherwise, thanks for letting me vent here. I put it at the end of the video so you can click off it at any point and you're not missing anything. We'll do this all again tomorrow, and I'll talk to you guys then.